There we go.
B'Shem Hashem na'aseh v'nasliach. Picking up where we left off in Halachot Netalat Yadayim. So, Halacha Vav in Dinei Netalat Yadayim Shacharit. צריך ליטול כל האצבעות וכף היד עד חיבור הפרק עם הזרוע. So, where do we wash? What part of our hand are we supposed to wash? What part has to get wet with the water? What part do we pour on when we wash Netilat Yadayim in the morning? So, al pi halacha, a person should try their best to wash their hands in a way where you're getting water all over from the beginning of the tip of your fingertips all the way to where your wrist, where basically your hand meets your wrist. That's the area it has to come to. But let's say you're stuck somewhere. Again, we said, maybe you were crazy enough to decide that you wanted to climb a mountain just to show your friends that you're capable of doing it. Okay? Which I've always been on the negative side of, that kind of decision making. Don't climb mountains. Don't try to prove anybody that you could go up Everest. There's other better things you could do with your life. Okay? Like, jumping off of planes, for instance. I'm kidding. Anyway. But you don't have enough, let's say you're somewhere you don't have enough water. You only have a little bit of water that you could wash your hands minimally. What's the minimum to do Netilat Yadayim? So if you don't have enough water, yitol at kishre etzveotav. You wash your hands up until the end of your fingers, where it's like this. Only your fingers, until the end of your fingers. Now, however, if you know that you're going to go somewhere very close by, in another room or whatever, or maybe you're going to go outside somewhere very close, not too far, not an hour drive or but 5 minutes away, 10 minutes away, you're going to have water, right? From a close by place, so there are those that say you should wash your hands till the fingertips, like we said, but don't make a bracha yet, but at least you're washing your hands until the fingertips so that you're not walking, as we said when we first started. It's better not to walk 4 amot without washing Netilat Yadayim. So this way, at least you've washed your fingertips. We'll say why fingertips are important, right? And then afterwards, when you find water close by, we're saying not like you're going to drive to downtown and then do Netilat Yadayim. Somewhere you know that you're going to have water close. Then you have enough water, you wash your entire hand, and then you make the bracha on that washing. However, can you make, let's say if you don't have enough water, and you know you're not going to have enough water for the next hour or so. There's no way. When you wash your hands until the tip of the end of your fingers, can you make a bracha on that or not? Can you? Take a picture? That's because we're having Chinese food. I promised we'll do Chinese tonight. When we have Mexican food, I do Mexican accents. That's the deal. By the way, welcome.
Next week Italian.
Next week Italian food. Oh, I could totally do Italian food. Venire. So it seems, however, if the water that you're going to need to bring to wash your entire hand is going to be far away, there's going to be a separation between the two washings it's too great, then you're really going to be yotzeh, washing your hands the first time until the end of the fingers. So therefore, then don't try to wait for the second Netilat Yadayim. If it's going to be too far away, just be yotzeh with the first Netilat Yadayim. Okay, so now, do you make the bracha on washing the hands until the end of the prakim, and end of your fingers? Now if you think about it, that's how we wash when? Yom Kippur. I went Mexican again. You say, that's how you wash Yom Kippur and Tisha B'Av. Tisha B'Av also we don't wash the whole hand. We wash only the etzbaot, only the fingers. And what do? We do make a bracha. right? Therefore, if you don't have water and you know you're not going to be somewhere close by to get the water, then when you wash your hands, even until the end of your fingers, make the bracha. You'll be yotzei with the bracha. Now, as far as we said before, part of the reason we wash our hands is for what? To get rid of ruach ra'ah, this impure spirit, or we said, what did we call it last time?
Vibes.
Yeah, negative vibes
Bad vibes.
that are on our hands, right? You know, so as far as that's concerned, according to most poskim, when you wash your hands until the fingers, your fingers are the parts of your hands that actually have those negativities on it. The end of your fingers, right? Therefore, when you do wash your hands under your fingers, you're pretty much getting rid of those negativities anyway. Therefore, you could make a bracha on it as well, right? As far as cleansiness also. You know, the Kohanim, anyway, on Yom Kippur, Kohanim can wash their whole hands for a different reason why they can wash their own hands. But we said some of the reasons that we do Netalat Yadayim in the morning were compared to the Kohanim. When they would come to do the service, they would wash their hands, right? Part of the reason we make a bracha on this Netilah also is because we have kavanah that, God, I am washing my hands, I'm cleansing myself to get ready for your service, right? So that we don't do tefillah without washing our hands. We want to go into tefillah and wrapping tefillin after we're cleansing ourselves.
Some people don't wash their hands when you go unless they go to the bathroom.
In the morning, you should anyway. Right?
Honestly, it's a different lady.
So the bracha you say in the morning is just because you just want to say a bracha? It has nothing to do with washing the hands, right? I mean, like you wake up, you can just do, you have to anyways do Netilah, but saying the bracha for Netilah Yadayim, is it mandatory or is it
Yes.
optional?
Yes, it's mandatory.
To say,
To say the bracha is mandatory. It's a mitzvah to say the bracha. Now the reasons why we make a bracha, that was a whole big shiur that we had, I think our second one that we had, which we discussed many different opinions as to why we make Al Netilat Yadayim in the morning. And what we said was, one of them was that, like we said right now, you're making a bracha on the mitzvah of making yourself ready to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's the mitzvah, right? And that's why we make the bracha on it. And then one said, no, it's because you're getting rid of ruach ra'ah, and that has a blessing on its own, or because of cleansiness. And then all of a sudden there was another opinion that said, if you clean your hands with something other than water, then you don't make al netilat yadayim. There's another bracha you make, al nikiyut yadayim. Do we make al nikiyut yadayim means cleaning hands. Netilat yadayim has two meanings. One is raising, netilat yadayim, I'm raising my hands, I'm elevating my hands in a spiritual sense. And also it refers to the utensil. Remember, there was a utensil that they used to use to wash hands with. It was called a natla, right? So that's why we have to wash with the utensil, because if you don't wash with the utensil, you might not be chayav in a bracha. Because the bracha is only on the device that you're holding, right? Therefore, we mentioned that it's best always use a utensil, and always do it correctly the 6 times, so that according to all poskim, you'll be able to make a bracha. Right? But now we know also, according to halacha, even if you wash your hand, your fingers, until the end of your fingertips, you'll still be able to make a bracha. Just like we make a bracha on Tisha B'Av, and we make a bracha on Yom Kippur as well. Right?
Did you say a bracha if you didn't fall asleep that night?
We'll get there. Well, actually, next halachot we're getting.
What was that?
Oh, right. We have nights that we stay up, so we'll get there. We'll get there.
If you're saying Al Nesilah Yadayim in the morning when you go to shul and you're saying your...
That's another thing.
Can I say it then?
So
When I'm saying Birkat HaShachar?
no, because it's a safek bracha now. Because now you've already washed. You've done the mitzvah of washing hands, and according to some, you can't do it again. Like I mentioned this week.
No, I'm saying...
Also, if you,
without washing.
said if you washed and you did it, we'll get to it. Actually, it's here. We're going to get to it. But I read somewhere that Harav Ovadia Yosef Zechet Tzadik V'Kadosh Livracha had a minhag. Harav Ovadia used to wash one time. He would get up, go to the restroom, use the restroom, come out, wash Netilat Yadayim, and then make a bracha of Netilat Yadayim.
And then say Asher Yatzar?
Yeah, of course. You only say Asher Yatzar if you use the restroom, right? But the fact is, a lot have minhag that when you wake up, you do Netilat Yadayim once without a bracha, then you go to the bathroom, then you wash, and then you come out, you get dressed, and you go do Netilat Yadayim. Make bracha of Netilat Yadayim. Rav Yosef held that maybe the first washing that you did, you already did the mitzvah of washing. You get rid of everything that you need to get rid of as far as cleanliness and as far as the ruach ra'ah. Therefore, the second time that you wash, you might not even need a bracha.
So that
right?
thing doesn't, he didn't apply.
Huh?
Don't take four.
So that's a question that I had. I have to look it up to be exact as to far.
No, you have next to the bed.
And we talked about the 4 feet also in the beginning. It could have been, yes, they definitely had a bathroom really close by, but let's leave that for another time so we don't go off subject and come back on subject here. Mi sheyesh lo maka al yado achat. Someone that has a cast on one of his hands. Right? What do you do? If you have like a cast or something that you wrapped your hand and you can't wash one of your hands. Now we have a couple of issues to deal with right now. It's not just the washing. It's also what the bracha would be. What is the bracha that we make now? Al netilat yadayim. It's plural, right? So, do you make when you're washing? Let's say you're chayav. Let's say the halacha says that you can't wash the second hand. You wash one hand, right? So you wash one hand. What do you do? Al netilat yad. Huh? No. Those say I. Please raise your hand. No, I'm kidding. Please. You get Chinese food everywhere. So do we make al netilat yad? So we know there's a halacha. Like for instance, an example of something like this would be, we take our kelim, our utensils to the mikveh. If they're metal or glass, we take them to the mikveh, right? When you take kelim to the mikveh, there's a bracha. The bracha is al tevilat kelim. Or if it's only a single keli, if it's only one utensil, you make al netilat keli. So the question here is it the same thing with hands? If you're only washing one hand, do you say al netilat yad or yadi? No? Thank you. It's been paskined, everybody. Go home. Enjoy the rest of your night. So you can't. Hacham Benayahu has paskined.
Because you have the intention of doing both hands. You just can't do
I like what you just said. He said because you have the intention of doing both hands, but you just can't do one hand. But the question is, but you're not.
You worked on yourself a lot.
I say.
I don't think you've ever told him he's right.
It's no, actually, you're mistaken. I still did not say he's right. But you have to take this into account. Even your intention, you have to take the intention away right now. You're still not washing both hands. So can you make a bracha that says washing my hands when you're not washing your hands? You're washing one hand. So he brings down here. Let's do it inside, okay? If a person has a cast, he's gotten hurt in one hand, and it's covered up. He washes one hand and he still makes the bracha of al netilat yadayim. Because when the bracha of tevilat kelim and tevilat keli was instituted, it was instituted as both. Which means it was instituted as following. If you have one keli, if you have one utensil you're taking to the mikveh, you make al tevilat keli. If you have two or more, then you make al tevilat kelim. But for netilat yadayim, there was only one bracha instituted. And it's actually for the mitzvah of washing hands. Whether you're washing one hand or two hands, it's regardless. That's the bracha that was instituted for it. Therefore, anytime, whether it's the left hand or the right hand or both hands, you always make the bracha of al netilat yadayim, both hands, which is kind of what he said. I told you I'm not going to give it to you. Im hayan. Are we done? Yeah. Listen, All day I wait for this to come and give a shiur and say, no, you're wrong, I'm right. Could I please have that? You know? אם היה ניעור כל הלילה, יש להסתפק אם צריך ליטול ידיו בבוקר, לפני התפילה. If you were awake all night, Shavuot, right? Or for Hoshana Rabbah night, which everybody in the world has a minhag to stay up. Let's just put this out there, right? Hoshana Rabbah, the last night before Simchat Torah, right? Shemini Atzeret, we stay up to be mitpalel, because we say that Chachamim say that it's Shemini Atzeret is the last time a person could pray after Yom Kippur. The gates are still open for our tefillot. So, rabbis. So if you're awake all night, there's a safek whether you need to wash your hands. Because we said a couple of weeks ago we said, why do we wash Netalat Yadayim in the morning? There were a couple of different opinions, right? One was that when you're at night when you sleep, your hands are askaniot, which means your hands go all over the place. They're touching places in your body that are unclean, and therefore the next day when you want to go to the service of Hashem again, you need to wash hands. And for cleaning yourself for the service of Hashem, you need a bracha. Others said, like the Zohar says that when a person sleeps, they're partially dead, and that ruach ra'ah comes on the body, and therefore for that ruach ra'ah, you need to make a bracha, you need to wash your hands. So, now, does that happen? Does that ruach ra'ah happens when night passes over a person? Or does that ruach ra'ah really come only when a person sleeps? According to the Zohar, it seems only when you sleep, right? Because if he's not dead, or partially dead, which according to science is like 1/60th dead, right? Then you won't need to do Netilat Yadayim, because the Ruach Ra'ah never came, right? So do you or do you not? So it's a safek. Lefichach yitol yadav beli baracha. Therefore, when a person washes Netilat Yadayim after being awake the entire night, you wash your hands Netilat Yadayim, but however, you do not make the bracha. You don't make the bracha of an Netilat Yadayim. V'gam im yelech, if he goes to the bathroom and his hands get dirty or whatever, let's say he goes to the bathroom, uses the bathroom, for us as Sephardim, we do not make a bracha. This is what the Mishnah Berurah holds. The Mishnah Berurah holds that if you go to the bathroom, let's say you were all night awake, right? Just like that, washing your hands, you don't make a bracha. But if you go to the bathroom and use the bathroom, and your hands became dirty, on that you could make the bracha. We don't hold like that. We still say safek brachot akel. It's a safek, it's a questionable matter. We don't know if you really need to make a bracha or not. You want to be safe, you don't make a bracha. Right. But however, the count still stays the same. 3 on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You start with taking the cup with your left hand, pouring on your right hand, and so on and so forth. Vice versa. Skipping, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When do you wash your hands? When you're awake all night, when do you do it?
Right before you pray.
Right at Amud HaShachar, right at dawn. Because that's when morning comes in. Before that, it's still nighttime. Right? So you're still doing the nighttime, you're still working off of the washing you did the day before, which is continued into this night, so to speak. Right? As soon as Amud HaShachar comes, as soon as dawn comes, you wash again. That's when you wash. And that's 72 minutes of Shaot Zmaniyot before Netzach Hama. Dawn is always 72 minutes before Netzach Hama. If you guys have that application on your phone, Zmanim application, it shows you all the different times, all different kinds of time zones. But if you don't make it right at dawn, you for sure definitely you have to do it at least before your tefillah. Again, no bracha. Let's say you made a mistake. Amud HaShachar is at 4:59 a.m., right? You washed your hands at 4:30 and you sat down and you started learning, right? Now you realize Amud HaShachar was at 4:58. You washed before, right? Do you need to wash again?
No.
You do not need to wash again.
Thank you, Pastor.
Vamnam. However, haniyur balayla ad achar chatzot, a person that's awake until after chatzot. What time is chatzot nowadays, right now? 12 something, 12:50, something like that. That's chatzot, midnight. Let's say a person was awake at night until after chatzot. After, let's say 1 a.m., let's say is chatzot. Midnight is 1 a.m. He was awake until midnight, after midnight. And then after midnight, he goes to bed. Do you need to wash hands now that you slept after midnight? You went to sleep after midnight. Basically, do we only wash the Netilat Yadayim and make a bracha if we sleep before midnight? Or do we, whether we sleep before or after midnight, as long as we sleep at night, to the morning we need to wash. When he wakes up in the morning, he does make a bracha of Netilat Yadayim. He washes his hands, and he or she makes Netilat Yadayim. And that's the minhag. If he went to sleep beginning of the night, and he woke up before Chatzot, let's say you slept, at 6 p.m., 7 p.m., and you woke up at 12 a.m. What do you do then? Huh?
Can you say that?
Yeah, he woke up before Chatzot. What does he do? He washes his hands, but no bracha. You don't make a bracha on that washing.
When do you say the bracha, then when you don't? Because I thought the whole thing behind it was that you 1/60th dead if you went to sleep for 5 hours.
Right, so that question will come up. But what's Shenat Keva? What is called a regular sleep? A regular sleep would have to be that it has to pass midnight.
So like a nap.
So it's not based on the time of how much.
A nap also, we'll talk about a nap. How much? We'll talk about how much also. There is a minimum to both. However, on that sleep, that he woke up before Chatzot, he slept at 7 o'clock, he woke up at 12 a.m. If he makes a bracha on that, he has what to rely on. It's not the worst thing. There are those that hold on that sleep, you should make a bracha, Netilat Yadayim also. Because it was a few hours, he slept, it was like a major sleep. You call that a nap? I don't call sleeping at 7 o'clock, waking up before Chatzot, a nap. That's a night's sleep. Right? So if he makes a bracha on that, it's also acceptable. And also, somebody that got off a flight, let's say, they were exhausted. So they slept during the day, right? You went to sleep at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and you woke up beginning of the night, 7 o'clock at night, right? When you wake up, you wash your hands without a bracha. However, also here, if you do make a bracha, you have what to rely on. Because there are those poskim that hold, even if you sleep during the day, and you woke up already when the night started, even before Chatzot, before midnight, you have what to rely on. You could make a bracha netilat yadayim. You shouldn't, but if you do, you have what to rely on. Okay. מי שדעתו ללכת לישון אחר חצות הלילה אינו מברך ברכת השחר אחר חצות הלילה אלא מברך בבוקר במקומו משנתו וכן המנהג. Right? Someone, you want to put on this air? It's a little hot here, no? Is it hot? Yeah. Just turn on maybe like 74 something. Let's say you know you're going to go to sleep after midnight, right? You're going to go to bed at 2 a.m. You know you're going to go to bed at 2 a.m. When do you make the brachot of shachar? Every morning we make brachot shachar, right? Elokai neshama shanata bi, and then you make the different brachot. Hanoten lasechvi bina lafchim ben yom u'en laila, shelo asani goy, huh? So
You're gonna start learning.
Right, so do you make it at night? You know right now that you're gonna be awake until 2 a.m. So after midnight, you're still awake. Do you make those brachot or not? Halacha is, you make them after you wake up in the morning. Don't make them yet. Go to sleep, because the brikot hashachar that you made the day before count for the night also, even the night that goes after chatzot. So therefore, even if you know you're going to be awake after chatzot, you don't make brikot Torah. You make them the next morning when you wake up again. So you don't do that. Hishkim kum kodem amud hashachar v'natal yadav kedin. If you woke up before Amud HaShachar, you woke up before dawn, which is, let's say, as we said, 4:58 is morning. You woke up at 4 o'clock, right? V'natal yadav kedin, and you washed your hands. Yesh leistapek im tzarich lachzor v'litol yadav pam shenit kishiyor hayom. There's a safek whether you need to wash again once daybreak comes. Once it becomes Amud HaShachar, at 5 a.m., there's a safek whether you need to wash anymore, because you've already washed at 4 a.m. Because maybe that washing that you did already got rid of that ruach ra'ah. You're already done with it, so you might not need to. Therefore, you wash your hands regularly, like you do every morning, but you do not make a bracha. We're going a little quick over here because we're going to start new halachot as well. So I want to get through them. If you guys have questions, ask. Okay. Now, what do you do if you sleep during the day? I know you guys, everybody here is full room here. Nobody sleeps during the day, right? Napping is not something we do. We're busy, we're working, we're learning during the day. We got, On
Shabbat, it's okay.
Especially on Shabbat, nobody naps. Who naps on Shabbat when you could literally, You should know, by the way, a lot of people, we Jews pride ourselves on the Shabbat sleep, the Shabbat nap, because it's truly magnificent. The Shabbat nap is the nap, right? But I gotta tell you something. Just food for thought, okay? Could it be that sleep is so good?
You ate too much?
No.
Because you gotta wash again.
Because the Satan wants you to be asleep. Could it be?
Satan takes off on Shabbat.
The Satan takes off on Shabbat. See, you're thinking about Yom Kippur, my friend. Because the Satan, I know, works double shift on Shabbat. But you should know that the Chachamim, like Maran Ovadia Yosef, Zechat Tzaddik Racha, sleeping on Shabbat, even Friday nights, winter time, when it comes winter time to go to sleep on Friday nights, I'm telling you, I'll be the first to admit, right? Winter time that like Shabbat comes in at like 5 o'clock, let's say, right? If there was an early minyan to do mincha narveti 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I would do it and make kiddush and go to sleep at 5. Okay? I'm not saying I would do it now. There was a time that I would do it. After that meal on a Friday night, to sleep 14, 15 hours, easy. It was like, yes, it's the best sleep ever. But correct me if I'm wrong. During the week, you could eat same amount, but you won't be as sleepy as you are on a Friday night. You won't want that sleep. So what is it in that sleep? I'll tell you what it is. The Chachamim tell us. The learning that a person does on Shabbat is 1,000 times more precious and 1,000 times more powerful than any learning you do any time of the week. That's how much zechut it has, learning on Shabbat. That's why Chachamim, Friday night, sleeping, it's a joke. Was a person that said about Rav Ovadia Yosef, Zechat Tzaddik, he was invited to New York when he was, younger. Not that young, but he was, his wife was still alive. And they were in New York, they slept by somebody's house. And over there, the Balabayit, the host, comes to to make sure the bedroom is set correctly for the rabbi and his wife. It's a great honor to have the Rav Rashi to be sleeping at their house, making sure everything is correct. Lights have to be dimmed a certain way. But he doesn't realize, he doesn't ask him how they like it, right? So the next day he comes to the Rebbitzin, Rabbanit, and says, I'm so sorry, I forgot to ask you how you like it, but I left the closet light on so that you won't have too much light in the room and you could just shut it when you want to sleep so there's no light in the room when you want to sleep. I hope it was okay. She turns to him and says, it was actually perfect. I slept and the Rav was able to learn in the closet the whole night. And it wasn't as it wasn't as a joke or fun, she was saying it as like an obvious, thank you. He was able to learn in the closet and I slept. Right? Friday night sleep. It wasn't even it's because the learning you could do on Shabbat. Even Shabbat afternoons. I want you, when after Osh, after Cholent, and that heavy food, it feels really good. But imagine the fight, the fighting that urge, the Yetzer Hara of going to sleep and getting 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes of learning there. Oh, you know how much zechut that has? Even if during the learning your head falls and you pass out on the couch. But get that 15 minutes in. Guaranteed those are zechuyot that you can get nowhere else with any other learning you do. Because learning on Shabbat is a different world. That's why it's so good. It tastes so good because the Satan knows his job. He's an expert in knowing where to exactly be able to maneuver and get us to, That's why the biggest Yetzer Hara is, we say, Shena b'Shabbat ta'anug. We take the Rashi Tavot of Shabbat, Shin, Bet, Taf. We break it down to Shena b'Shabbat ta'anug, which means sleep on Shabbat is a pleasure. Right? But that's not the way it's supposed to be. Yes, it feels good, but we should try to learn even on Shabbat, especially on Shabbat. So,
Aren't you supposed to indulge on Shabbat? Yeah. With food and sleep and...
Yes, you indulge. No, not indulge. Let's not say indulge. You're supposed to enjoy. You have to have ta'anug. Oneg Shabbat in the merit of Shabbat. Oneg is fine, but overboard is never fine.
I'm not overboard.
Right? Yeah, the Chachamim, their ta'anug was, their oneg was, on Shabbat they would have meat. That's an oneg. For us, oneg on Shabbat means we'll have a cow. It's still meat, right? But let's not go overboard. That was their oneg, right? The Baba Sali ate a date every day, and on Shabbat he had a piece of meat. That was his oneg Shabbat. That was his pleasure on Shabbat. We can't take pleasures of this life too seriously. On Shabbat, we want to be happy. We want to do things extra. Of course, there's a zechut to buy sodas and different kind of things for the table. It's a mitzvah to have more, but not to indulge too much in them either. Right? Everything has its limits. You want to take a nap? Okay, take a nap, half an hour, 20 minutes, but learn for 20 minutes also. I guarantee you it'll be the best learning you do in your life. On Shabbat, it's like Hashem adds an extra chokhmah on us on Shabbat. We have to really, we got to take advantage of those moments on Shabbat that we have to learn, whatever it might be. Someone had a question here. No? You felt bad, huh? I answered it. See? You didn't, I did. I answered it. Once again, you were wrong. When a person sleeps during the day, you take a nap, even for 4 hours. During the day, there's a safek whether a person should needs to even wash their hands or not. Therefore, what first scenario is what a person should do. Yitol yadav beli beracha. A person should wash their hands without a bracha. Vegam keshenotel yadav mipena safek. Even that he is washing his hands now because he has a safek. He has a question whether he needs to wash your hands or not. He still does the same kind of washing, right? Don't cut it into 5 times or 4 times. Do the same 6 times, pouring on your hands. Okay, we have to We'll do this halacha again next time. ישן שיטין נשמי, אבל בפחות מזה אין רוח רע שורה על ידיו אפילו בלילה. It's a certain kind of sleep that needs you to wash your hands. And we'll discuss that Bezrat Hashem next time, what kind of sleep that is and how long it is. And we'll come back to it. But let's go to our weekly Musar. Musar. Musar means how to be Adam. In general, that's the explanation. It's in every single language. It's how to be Adam, how to be human, how to live a correct life. And we're in the chapter of Emunah. Last week we discussed a lot of stuff in Emunah. When we talked about the two Rebbes that were both sleeping. So it says, there's a midrash Tanchuma says, Ma'aseh b'kohen sheratza le'azov et ha'aretz ve'lalechet lechutz la'aretz letzorach parnasato avur bnei beto. There was a kohen that wanted to leave Eretz Israel and travel abroad in order to find business and send money home to help his family. אך בהיות שהיה רואה מראות נגעים וחשש שיצטרכו לזה, עמד ולימד את אשתו מהו נגע ומה פסתה משפחת. So Kohanim those days needed to know the laws of negaim. Negaim were the laws of blemishes on a person's body. When a person would say lashon hara or do different things, we know those negaim like tzara'at. They needed to be able to differentiate between what is a tzara'at, what is a nega, what it's not, or what is a pimple. They needed to be able to say, oh yeah, you're having too many dates per day, you have garmi, that's just a pimple. That's not tzara'at. Or, you got to close your mouth, you're talking too much, that's tzara'at, get out of the house, yada yada. So that's his job. What is he going to do? So he decides he's going to teach his wife. He's going to teach his wife how to tell what's a tzara'at, what's not a tzara'at. So when people come to his home, she'll be able to help them when he's not in town. He's taking a trip. בדוח כדי דיברו הסביר לה שלכל שערה בגוף יש מעיין שממנה היא יונקת. Listen, guys. While he was teaching these things to his wife, he says to her, by the way, each hair on a person's body has a ma'yan, has a spring of life that feeds that hair only. ואם היו שתי שערות יונקות ממעיין אחד, האדם היה מת. And if two hairs would start getting their life source from one ma'yan, from one stream, it would be disastrous and a person would die. That's what he starts telling his wife. That, by the way, each hair on a body has a certain spring of life. In a person's genetics, it's built that way, that the hair derives its life source from that spring. If two hairs attach themselves to one spring, it's disastrous. His wife was a tzaddiket. As she's hearing this, she cuts him off and says, hold on. I'm hearing you say this, I just want to repeat it to you. How many hairs are in a person's body? Everyone's different. Approximate. Millions, right? On each person's body, if you're Persian, billions. I'm Persian, no one get offended. I'm Persian myself. I don't want people to be like, this rabbi, this white rabbi with red hair is making fun of Persians all over, So, millions of hairs on a person's body. And his wife was a chachama. Of hair on each person's body. Billions of people in the world. And Hashem makes sure each hair derives its livelihood, so to speak, from one ma'yan, from one stream source. And it never happens that a hair takes its source from another ma'yan. Each one knows exactly where it derives its life source from, right? So I'm asking you, you think you need to go across the earth in order to send parnasah home? Like Hashem can't give you your livelihood here? Hashem knows exactly what hair on a person's body needs to derive its life source, from which ma'yan, and you think That he doesn't know how to do his job with you. If he wants to give you parnasa, he'll give you parnasa here. If he doesn't want to give you a parnasa, he won't give you a parnasa over there and in Canada. Wherever you go, it ain't going to happen. You know, it's amazing. We break our heads over parnasa. Everybody does. What do we call it? Hishtadlut. What do we call it? We call it, listen, Hashem has said, you need to put your effort, and then Hashem is going to give you a parnasa. Correct? Correct. But a lot of times we're mistaken effort with working like a dog. To be as simple. You have effort, and then you have overboard. Where do we draw the line? Where do we say, here's where I'm going to work, and from here on, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to give me my parnasa. I don't need to work more than this. Where is that line drawn? And as I explained to somebody else before, that line is drawn where you want it to be. It's the line that you draw. Nobody else is going to draw it. If you have enough emunah, if you have within you enough of a sechel to say, you know what? This is as far as I need to work. I have full emunah that this is as much as I'm going to do and the rest Hashem is going to give me, then that's exactly how much you need to work. If you feel you need to work 7, 8, 9, 15 hours a day in order for that parnasah to come, so Hashem says, okay, if you feel that that's how much you need, and that's as much as I will give you. Anyway, I'm going to give you $100,000 a year. Anyway, this year you're meant to make $180,000. It's up to you now. You want to work 20-hour shifts? You want to work 15-hour shifts? You want to work 8-hour shifts? It's up to you. You have emunah in me, I'll give you. It's not that, chas v'shalom, a person could say, I'm going to stay home. You know, I'm going to stay, I'm a Rav, I'm a tzaddik, I'm going to stay. Of course, we have chachamim that do that also. Their level of emunah has to be, wait, but for us normal, we're nothings. For us to say, I'm going to stay and Hashem's going to give me my parnasah, doesn't work. Therefore, we need to do what? Our effort. What is effort? Depends on you. You want your effort to be sweating? Okay. You want your effort to be, okay, here are my hours, here are the times that I'm going to work, here are the times that I'm going to learn, here are the times that I'm going to do tzedakah. You do it like that, you differentiate between your times, you divide it into learning, doing mitzvot, and working. You know what you have? Not only you'll have a parnasah b'ezrat Hashem, then you'll have Gan Eden here, and you'll have Gan Eden there. Because you have a full belief system that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to take care of me. I'm doing my part. So it says here like this. V'gam im metzuvim beishtadlut. Even though we have a mitzvah to put our effort into it. It's a mitzvah. We need to work also a little. Afal piken asur la'amin beishtadlut. It is asur to believe that parnasah came because of my ishtadlut, because of my efforts. Like we said last time, our effort is there only to say, I did something too. But not to chas v'shalom believe, you know why I made this? You know why this deal went through? Because I did it.
So what if it does?
It's asur. It will go through, but we have to believe that Hashem wanted me to put my effort in, I did, and that's why it happened. But not because of my effort. It's not because of your effort. Because there's countless people putting effort after effort, working like dogs. It doesn't happen. Means what? It's got nothing to do with your effort. If it's meant to happen, you put your minimum effort in, it'll happen. Because we've seen people putting maximum effort, and it still doesn't happen. So why doesn't it happen for them? Why would it? You understand? That's why it's when you live this way, you will come to understand that it's almost crazy for a person to believe that anything is going to change when you start working, let's say, 15-hour shifts and 20-hour shifts, and taking time from your family, taking time from your life, taking time from Shabbat, taking time from Mu'adim. You have no life, and you think that that's why you're making money? It's crazy. That's not a life. That's chas v'shalom. It's like hell on earth. You have no rest. All these businesses, and God forbid, a lot of times what happens is, you'll make more money, and then half of that money that's supposed to go, where does it go? Chas v'shalom, tickets, this, that, God knows what. It's not what we want in life. That's why we always pray. Whenever we daven for money, whenever we daven for parnasah, what do? Bracha. We want blessing from Hashem. What does bracha mean? A person could make $1 million, and that bank account will have $1 million in it. But 500,000 could be spent on God knows what, that the guy does not want to spend the money on. But another guy could make 500,000, he'll have 500,000 in the bank account, and he'll have 500,000 to spend on anything he wants. That's called money having bracha. That's a blessing on it. So who made more money? There's one that made $500,000. There's one that made $1 million. But the one that made $1 million, he made 1,500,000 of it was headaches, God forbid, and the rest was his. You choose.
How do you find that line between effort and emunah? I think that's where like everyone's struggling.
Yes, it's a very thin line, and it depends on you. But I can guide as far as this. You'll find it when you have enough emunah to say, here's the norm. 8-hour day is the norm, right? I'm going to divide my 8-hour day, and I'm going to take an hour of that 8-hour norm, and I'm going to give that hour to Torah, to a mitzvah, something. You understand? You take just a little bit off of it. And then you'll say, okay, you know what? I'm close to the norm. However, I'm also saying that I'm putting my hishtadlut into it, but I want my Jewish life to also have a part of my daily routine. We can't have 8-9 hour days of work, and nothing else. That's it. No learning Torah, no mitzvot, no nothing. And then we go home, we pass out because we're exhausted. That's it. That's all life is. And then after 120 years, 6 feet under, done. That's life. Can't be it. Life is about growth.
What about, let's say you do, like, let's say, okay, 6 hours I'll study, and in those 2 hours I'll learn Torah, I'll do a mitzvah or something. And let's say you're studying for a test and you don't get that grade on the test. You blame it on yourself, you're like, God wanted it this way. You know what I'm saying?
If you've done your best to get the information, when it comes to tests and stuff like that, you have to study enough to know the information. Right? That's your hishtadlut for a test would be, I have to study until I know it. You can't be like, well, I'm going to study only an hour, whether I get it or not. You can't do that. If you don't get it after an hour, you study another hour. We're talking about work here. Work is different than studying, trying to get information. Yeah?
The hishtadlut between school and work is different?
No. Information and work is different. When you're trying to learn something and you haven't learned it, you can't say, I put my hishtadlut, God put it in my head. You know, you could daven beforehand that Hashem, please give me the koach, give me the brains to be able to understand this quickly so that I could put more time into other things. But if you learned it for an hour and you didn't come, okay, so you put more time to it, so you'll learn it. You can't depend on a miracle at a test.
Enough time. You did your best, you did your minimum, and you could.
You can't rely on a miracle during the test. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen v'amen.